Alright guys, so today we're going to be working on 2002 Ford F-250 5.4 liter Triton, as you can see right there. So symptoms, she's got a rough idle. So first thing you do obviously is check for vacuum leaks. I checked for some. You'll hear like a whistling sound or like a sucking sound, and that, you know, that could be a vacuum leak. But I didn't hear any, so we're gonna attempt to clean out the throttle body today, which is right here. You can, you know, follow your column here for your air filter up to your throttle body right there. You got your throttle position sensor right there, and then way back there you got your idle air control valve. I'll try and clear some of this out and show you guys, but first I'm going to show you the symptoms. So we'll take a look at that now. All right guys, so we're in the truck now. I got my dash up on the camera here. I'm going to start it up. So since it's a cold start, I let it cool down so that I'm not touching the hot engine as I'm working on it. But in order to show you guys the symptoms, I'm going to go ahead and start it up. When it first starts up, every car goes into like a high idle kind of thing, just to push all the fluids around and everything like that. So you'll see it sit around 1,000 RPM. However, once it goes out of that, which usually like it's after like a minute or a minute and a half, something like that, usually that's when it'll go down to regular idle. And that's when this thing gets choppy. It'll go between, you know, 750 RPMs down to 500, and it'll shoot back up to 1,000. And that's called searching. So that's what the car does when it's, you know, it's trying to keep itself alive. So let's go ahead and take a look. So here's where it's doing that high idle because it's a cold start. So we'll just go ahead and wait for it to get down to that other idle. All right, so you guys don't need anything crazy to take this off here. This, you could already see I loosened this clamp right here, and then you're gonna have two hoses, one on the top here and down here, second one, and then you're gonna have that hose clamp way up there. So let me see if I can get that off here. Hose clamp is off. Take it off, slide it off, throttle body, and then this hose is just going to come straight off. Yep, that was off. This second one here. And you're obviously going to remember, or want to remember, which one goes where. It's important. Second one off, just like that. This little connector down here that goes to the bottom right there. We're going to take that off. There it is. Just going to reach in there, push that tab down. Try and pull it out. All right guys, now that we got that out, we could just remove this. That's your mass airflow sensor right there. All right, so now that we're behind the throttle body right here, you can see this right here is the mass airflow sensor. So it's held on by 2 bolts, and then there is a hose coming off the top, and then on the opposite side there's a connector, but I'll show you that later. All right guys, so I got the bolt broke loose, so now we just got to loosen it the rest of the way and then take off that clip. This is the sensor that connects to the actual idle air control valve, and then we got to remove that hose as well, but we can do that after we take it off of the throttle body. All right guys, so we just got the IAC off. As you can see in there, a lot of carbon buildup, a whole lot of carbon buildup. So we'll take it back to the shop and see if we get this cleaned out. All right guys, so we're back in the shop. I'm trying to clean this out. I'm gonna see if I can get a pretty good angle of it for you guys. You see all that carbon buildup in there? So that's the one side. And then here's the other side that's attached to the intake there. You can see it's pretty much all just black in there, which is all that carbon buildup. So we're gonna try and hit it with some normal, just carb clean, and then you wanna make sure this surface is flat too. So I got a plastic razor I'll probably scrape it with, but I'll see you guys when I do. All right guys, so in my opinion that looks so much better. So we sprayed it out and then we scrubbed it out a little bit. So now everything should be completely in working order, and then we're gonna throw it back on and see if that fixes the rough idle. All right guys, so another thing I wanted to mention, just make sure when you're using, anything like some carb cleaner, whatever you're cleaning it out with, make sure you always hold the motor up. So that plug-in right there, where the electrical went, you want to make sure that's facing up. That way the carb cleaner doesn't drain down in the motor and after that it's shot. You'd have to get a new one. So all right guys, so I got everything mounted back up. Before off camera, I checked the gasket looked good. So now we're putting the IAC back on, got it bolted up. Now we're just gonna sequentially tighten these down because there's a gasket under there. You don't want to crush one side and then start working on the other side. You want to kind of do it in unison. So I'll check back in once we do that. All right guys, got that bolted up. So all we need to do now, reconnect this right here. It'll just slide right on until you hear it click. All right guys, it's been running for about 5 minutes now, and it looks like it worked. So we're sitting right at about 750, 800 RPM. We're in drive, which is when the problem was happening before. It's not all the way heated up, obviously, but we're not getting any lights. I checked my code reader, we're not getting any codes. Yeah, it looks like it's idling like a dream. So looks like that was a cheap fix. We didn't have to replace it, we just cleaned it out. All right, so looks like it's all fixed. This is a pretty easy job. It's not very, doesn't take very long. A lot of common hand tools. You don't really need to use like electronic tools or anything like that. But the idle's fixed. So we probably just saved ourselves probably like 45, 60 bucks, something like that. That's what I think I saw them going for at like AutoZone or like, parts places. So thanks for watching.